There's something very interesting and peculiar about knowing deeply, like at the soul level, who you are and what you are created to bring to the world, but also simultaneously being stuck with a very complex conundrum of not having a cooking clue how to actually bring that into the world in real time, in actual reality, in a format that has not been dictated to by the systemic structures, by the formats that demand extraction and basically your lifeblood in exchange for a drop of the value that you actually bring. One of the things that I am realizing has been a very strong pattern in my work, in my life, has been that I tend to attract souls who have these very, very deep, very big dreams that often have a major, major, major impact on society. And also, they are trapped somehow in an epoch, in a season of their lives where they cannot figure out what is dislocated, what isn't working, what is not harmonic. They can't for the life of them figure out, how do I take this massively expansive thing that's built to serve humanity, to really bring something beautiful to the planet? How do I take this thing that feels deeply intuitive, very loving, very expansive, very nebulous, maybe, and give it hands, feet, structure, form, multiplication, so that it actually produces legacy, seed that creates more seed, that creates more seed, that creates more seed. This is the interesting conundrum I am tribal counseling about in today's podcast. One of my favorite things is working with somebody to really explore what is underneath them, their exterior, to delve into the depth of what their actual signature essence is about, to give not me, them clarity about who the guano am I actually at a very deep soul architecture level. Okay. If I don't actually have a good idea of what that design is about, what the rules, structures, contracts, formations, all of the playbooks that come with that architecture, that design, that soul matrix, I'm screwed. There are a million things that I can do, but I'm pretty much lost even getting out the gate to start to understand, how do I put one foot in front of the other to build something, to create something that then becomes a legacy and really serves expansively. Okay. The reason I believe most of these incredible souls that somehow seem to find me and I collide with and I connect with, I believe one of the biggest reasons why they can't move and are stuck is because life has taught them. Usually, this is not the kind of person who had childhood trauma and then, was lucky enough to move on from it, have some good therapy sessions, and tra la la, life happened. No, these are usually souls who have had decades of just what feels like unrelenting obstacles, challenges, stress, extreme isolation, deeply unloved and unheld, in relationships that don't love them, don't see them, don't choose them, don't hold them, have no way of informing their nervous systems what being held, what being supported really, really feels like. This is usually the type of soul who, when you use the word nurture, they think about maybe something that happened when they were breastfeeding, if they were lucky. This is usually the kind of soul who doesn't understand what it feels like at a systemic and physiological level in life to be held and nurtured and deeply nourished in a way that satisfies them. Why? Because usually they are so brilliant, they're so smart, they are so clear about what it is they feel like they want to do. They are sometimes, often, mistakening, oh, this is the skill set that I have to bring, and I'm going to bring that skill set here with, this is my purpose. So often there's a little bit of like a thinking the two things are one thing when really they are not. You can have a particular skill set, but be misapplying it in a way that's creating incongruence, that's creating really a lot of disharmony in your life, in your relationships, in your mental body, in your soul, so that you feel like you're kind of still on the hamster wheel. But how, when you're actually supposedly doing what you were created to do? Often the issue is not the raw materials, it is the container and the vessel that doesn't actually understand the fundamental harmonics that are sitting beneath, that are actually informing what your life is trying to move you towards. Usually, this kind of human being has been told by life, you may not, thus far and no further. You don't get to experience abundance, prosperity, real love. You don't get to be loved unconditionally. You don't get to have a million examples to the right, to the left, in both your lineages and or in your lived realities in your friendship groups of really healthy, robust, loving, nurturing, caring relationships, or healthy businesses, or money energy structures, or creative outlets that are supported. You don't get any of that. What you get is a giant foot on your head that tells you when you can and cannot breathe. You get a very beautifully designed prison that keeps you in an energetic loop where you can never shift out of what feels like the lesson that never ends. This is usually the kind of soul that I am sitting in front of. Why am I talking about this today? Because I have had quite a few of those souls drop in the last, I want to say, 2 or 3 days that have just really, beyond all of the issues they've been sharing, the ceilings they have hit, the I cannot take another second of this stuff, that they are like, I don't even know what to fix anymore. I've done decades or years and years of soul work. I've done all of this amazing, powerful stuff to shift my reality and still nothing changes. How am I still on the same hamster wheel? A number of these people have rolled in to my landscape. And it's just made me realize that this is a very clever tactic. It's a very clever strategy. If you can keep the people that carry the blueprints to transform society, to rebuild structures, to call in, birth, find each other and become puzzle pieces that fit together, to re-sing new systemic processes, infrastructures, financial systems into place. If you can separate those people, if you can keep them strangled, stressed, isolated, in lack, in suffering 24/7, they will never get to the point where they have a cooking clue how to release their power, their miracle, their actual lived, breathed, vibrant light to the world. It's a strategy that is so sinister and yet so effective. And so part of what I have devoted my life to doing is to find these ones, or to breathe into allowing them to find me, so that we can recalibrate their harmonics and get all this other stuff off of them, so that they can actually shift into what it is they dream about being and becoming, and the kind of legacy they really want to leave. Just a little bit of inspiration for those of you who maybe this is exactly your archetype and you are stuck, you're done being done. You're over it, you finish, you can't possibly fathom what other lesson you need to learn. Maybe you're not insane. Maybe you just don't have support to help you build the bridge, the structure out of the cycle, the season, the identity matrix that you are currently in, into the new one. Let's do this again tomorrow.